Hello and welcome to Bass Guitar Review. I'm Ryan Barsby. Today we're going to be taking a look at something new from Markbass. But instead of being a box with dials and speakers, it's got strings instead. Markbass has been on the block since 2001, when founder and CEO Marcel de Villegas struck out on his own. As the company have grown, so have their range of products, with Markbass now building their own range of basses. And today, we're going to see if their basses match the quality of their amps, in terms of build, tone, and value. And in this corner, representing those basses is this, the Markbass JP Black Lady 4 CR-RW. CR standing for chrome and the RW referring to rosewood. And off the bat, I can tell you that this is an Italian luthiered, active, passive, sleek and subtle monster. The Black Lady clearly takes inspiration from the established P and J platforms, but with a modern twist, with an onboard 3-band active instrument preamp made by Markbass themselves. This instrument, however, retains a vintage aesthetic with its high gloss finish, rosewood fingerboard and mother of pearl inlays, and subtle yet flawless binding. The pickups are passive J-style single coils, with individual volume knobs and a master tone, which also acts as a switch for changing between active and passive modes, down being active and up being passive. The 3-band EQ consists of bass, mids and treble controls, with the bass controlling around 80 Hz, mids operating around 500 Hz and the highs around 8.5 kHz. All three of these parameters can either be boosted or cut by 15 decibels. The bass features Markbass's own hardware, including a solid single-piece lightweight die-cast bridge and chrome-plated ultralight clove-style tuners. Moving on to the neck, we can immediately see the 70s J-style inspiration coming through immediately, with a rosewood fingerboard, bone nut, mother of pearl inlays and binding around the neck which just screams 1970. Flipping it over, the neck is a single piece of hard maple with a vintage yellow finish, coated with a heavy layer of polyurethane lacquer to give a slick vintage look. At the nut, the neck is a tapered yet relatively chunky C shape, much like the famed J bass which this has taken inspiration from. Moving up the neck to the high register, we find a more flattened D shape, making fast pitch staccato playing and soloing easier. The whole thing is a 34-inch scale with a 20:1 ratio fretboard, so if you've played other long scale basses in the past, you'll feel right at home here. The eye-catching headstock is something that Markbass have decided to do for this range of bass, called the Mark Double Shape Matching Headstock. And whichever body colour you choose, the headstock will match with the stripe. Speaking of the body, the JP Black Lady comes in a gloss black finish with a lightweight older body, sporting offset cutaways but with a straight bottom, giving this bass's body a bit more of a P bass flavour, but with a J neck. All in, this slick bit of kit will set you back around £1,679. Let's hear a bit more from the Black Lady and we can make up our own minds. At first glance, the controls of this bass look rather intimidating, but give it 20 seconds and I guarantee it will be like riding a bike. They're intuitive and with their built-in midpoint notches, extremely easy to operate. This bass does have a few tricks up its sleeve that honestly do make it a bit of a mean contender in the serious bass players market. One being that Markbass claim the life expectancy of one of their preamp batteries is around 500 hours. Thanks to the preamp's consumption of 350 milliamps per hour, if this is true, then no need to empty out your wallet before every single gig buying 9-volt batteries. Another handy feature of the Black Lady that I really appreciate is the tone knob. It naturally acts as a tone for when the bass is in the passive mode, but also works as a master tone for when in active too. So, when you need to roll off your highs on the fly, this is such a handy feature to have, instead of faffing around with 3 different types of EQ control. But the main trump card of the Black Lady is hands down its build quality. As I said at the beginning of the video, this bass is a luthier build, meaning that each bass is slightly different due to being handmade, hence the relatively hefty price tag. The frets have very obviously been professionally laid and dressed. There are no sharp edges to be seen anywhere on the board, and they feel extremely comfortable in your hands. This paired with the quality binding around the fretboard, you can not just hear where your money is going, but you can feel it too. The Markbass Black Lady ships with a Markbass padded gig bag and a lovely thick shimmy to clean your bass with. All in all, this bass is a great testament to its forefathers before it. If you're after vintage tones with some handy little features and a premium build quality, then look no further. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please click subscribe and click on that bell icon to be notified of all of our future content. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Bass Guitar Review.